Welcome back to the 7th episode of Icha's Appreciation Program. I'm your host, Don Liu, and today we have Afiq!
Hello.
Afiq is a Suona player and he plays some other traditional Chinese instrument too. So today, apparently, we are going to introduce you to another two Chinese instrument apart from what we had down with guzheng and guqin. The first one being Suona. Suona is a traditional Chinese instrument and it is very, very loud instrument. It is basically the feature of this instrument is that it has a really, really loud and tremendous and colossal volume when it's being played. And it has been used for mainly Chinese wedding, traditional Chinese wedding, and Chinese funeral as well. So another one, I'm not quite sure. Maybe Afiq, can you tell us about another one that you have in hand?
So the other instrument that I have here with me is called the quanzer. So when I went to Google Translate and search, it means tube. It's just
Tube. Yeah.
it just direct translates to tube. So it's very similar to the Suona, but at the same time has a lot of differences. And as you can see, the biggest part is the size of the reed, which is the wooden part that you blow into the top. So for the Suona, you see it's like much smaller as compared to this. So of course, blowing this is a lot more tiring as compared to the Suona, and I guess that will also attribute to the more mellow sound, which you will hear later on. And something very closely linked about the quanzer and Suona is actually that they are both played for funerals, but because of the mellower sound of quanzer, you don't really hear them at weddings. So
Right.
it's mostly at funerals.
That's a different range, and you talk about the reed down attached to the top of the instrument. Yes, one being really tiny and small, so you generate the huge power needs to be generated through that tiny gaps, like the open there. So like I can imagine, so the volume or the pitch would be higher, right?
Yep.
And as compared to this one, which has a larger open, which the sound probably sounds lower, the volume that is generated, and also the range, the tone and range.
So
Can we do some sample for this, like this?
Okay, sure.
Yeah, okay.
okay, can you go on to this for me? I'll play the Suona first.
Sure.
But let's get it rolls over.
Okay, I'll help you. I'll handle this safely in my hand.
Don't lose it.
Oh, no, it's precious.
So like little sample of like a very popular piece would be like Hao Han Ke.
Right. That brought me back to my childhood. I watched that series. It was really fun. Okay. What about another one?
So this one has a much soothing, mellower sound, which I guess to say why I favor this instrument more.
Okay. Wow, it has a really soothing vibrato.
Yeah.
And very.
Don, can you bring us our snake out? Like, it feels like
Yeah,
we have a snake in our back
the
room,
cobra,
Yeah.
the cobra in the
Is
basket.
it real one?
Well, yeah, it sounds. Both of the instruments sound really unique. I have never heard probably anything. Maybe I would say the guanzi sounds a little bit like flute, the Chinese flute as well.
Yeah, but the difference is like this is more nasally.
Right,
So like,
it's more nasal and more. I heard as I described it, I thought it's kind of like a very soothing and mellow vibrato, and very low range, and the resonation is.
yeah, it's also because this instrument is actually in G key, and this is in D. So it's a lot, like I think 5 steps higher than this. And
Oh, wow, that's a generic. You're talking about the
the
generic.
tuning of
The generic.
yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So, and I guess in an orchestra setting, the concert and Suona is used for two very different things also. I mean, they're both meant to like pierce out of the orchestra because of the sound, because of the nature of the sound. It's very different, it's very unique. But definitely in terms of volume, the Suona would win.
Yeah, definitely. that was like, it kind of just gave me like, I was flinched. The moment the volume comes out, I was like flinched.
And I would think I don't play very loudly already. I have friends who play a lot louder than me actually.
Okay, Afiq. So I wonder you, how did you like embark on learning these two instruments? Like, when and how? What inspired you to do so?
Okay, let's start with how I even got to know about Chinese orchestra to begin with. So that's like, back then I was in primary 6, then it's after PSLE, then was that awkward period after PSLE where you still have to come to school, but you don't have anything to clear because you've already done your exams, right? So my teacher was asking, anyone here interested to go for a music camp? And I was like, that sounds interesting. But then I just raised my hand immediately before she could say this next phrase, which was, but it's for Chinese orchestra.
Okay.
Yeah, so back then me and my Indian friend, Anirudh, the both of us were so excited to go, we just raised our hands. And then we looked at each other when we heard her saying it's for Chinese orchestra. We were like, it's gonna be a bit tough, huh? So I ended up going to Chongqing High Yishun for the CEO camp with Anirudh, and the both of us, because we are non-Chinese speaking, we don't speak Mandarin, so we are thrown into percussion, which is, I guess, one of the easier ones to pick up. And I'm sorry for my pronunciation, but I remember like the first piece that I played was Lin Zhong Yue Hui, some rendezvous in the forest.
Lin Zhong Yue Hui.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after that, when you get into secondary school, and they always mention how you have to have a CCA, or else you cannot get into a JC or poly. So the typical fear mongering.
So that was for education purpose.
So I was so interested to join NPCC or shooting. I put them as my first and second choice. But then I look at my third choice and like, oh man, what if I don't get these both? Then how am I going to graduate?
We need to let MOE know about it.
Yeah, true. I guess
that.
But at least that is an honest answer to
Yeah.
this. But out of this, do you really genuinely have passion and zest for this?
Passion and zest. I think every day of my life it's quite revolved around my instruments. Because I do teach in school COs now, and I do perform professionally with reverberance. It's a Chinese wind percussion ensemble, and yeah, I guess, I mean, you have to have passion for it. You're gonna be stuck with this. I guess the most boring part about is the most daunting thing about picking up an instrument. For all those younger ones out there, it's always the practice hours. It's always my teacher always tells me that the only difference between you and me is that I put in maybe times 10 more hours than you have. I put in maybe like a few thousand hours, and maybe you're only at your first 500. But then when you think of it, don't rush into things when you're picking up a new instrument. Just go with the flow and enjoy the process. Eventually, you will get somewhere as long as you keep putting in effort.
I really like what you said there. Okay, that was the end of the quote. Okay, but to be honest, as the musicians, I think even as an artist itself, the earnesty that you have for what you do is the most important thing. One of the most important quality that you need to have to first possess for your professions, and it is very, very inspiring that we know that someone as young as you who are interested in pursuing the very traditional Chinese music instrument as it is really, really good, and I would really applaud you for that.
Thank you.
Alright, okay. Alright, it's our show time, and Afiq is going to have 2 solo, 1 for Suona and 1 for Guanzi, respectively. And we're gonna hear you play. Well, it's beautiful. I mean, I have, as I said in the beginning, these two instruments, they have completely different quality in terms of their tonality and pitch. And when I heard this Suona, it's really just every time it's like a pinch. I will be like so jumpy, especially when the volume turns up. And then as comparing to the guanzi is so sublime and mellow, and it's just very soothing in general, the sound generate. And thanks Afiq, thanks for showing us, and make sure to subscribe to us on our social media. We'll put our link down below, and if you like Afiq and follow his professional career, you can also, we'll put his social media link down below, and you could make sure to follow him. If you not make sure, just to support him, to follow him. And I really like your performance, and
Thank you.
It's really good. And we will see you next time. Bye.